Attention passionate Detroit, Lions fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Detroit Lions' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Detroit Lions fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Detroit Lions fans. Let's get to the news now. Just imagine the kind of shakeup that could be happening this season. That's right, folks. The NFL is always full of surprises, and this time, it's not just about rookies making headlines or a team's new offensive scheme. No, it's about a veteran who might soon be donning the Honolulu blue and silver. That's right, Cameron Jordan, the legendary pass rusher of the New Orleans Saints, could be headed to Detroit. And believe me, this isn't just a rumor. It's a move that could redefine the Lions' defense and their entire championship window. Now, why is this such a big deal? Well, let's break it down. First, it's important to understand the context. The Detroit Lions, for the past few seasons, have been on a serious upward trajectory. Under the leadership of head coach Dan Campbell, they've transformed their culture into one of grit, resilience, and relentless pursuit of excellence. Jared Goff has been playing some of the best football of his career, leading an offense that's dynamic, versatile, and capable of putting up points at will. But as with any team that aspires to go all the way, there are always areas to improve, especially on the defensive side of the ball. The Lions' defense has made significant strides, but outside of Aiden Hutchinson, their pass rush hasn't been consistently dominant. That's where a veteran like Cameron Jordan could step in and make a huge difference. Let's take a moment to appreciate who Cameron Jordan is and why he's still a game-changer at 37 years old. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, isn't he too old for this kind of move? Well, if you've been following his career, you know age is just a number for Jordan. He's been one of the most productive pass rushers in the NFL for over a decade, racking up an impressive 117. 5 sacks so far. And in Week 1 of this 2025 season, he showed the league that he's still got plenty left in the tank. Against the Arizona Cardinals, Jordan didn't just show up, he dominated. 2 pass deflections, a sack, and multiple quarterback pressures. That's the kind of impact you want from a guy who's been through it all. What's truly remarkable about Jordan isn't just his ability to sack the quarterback. It's his football IQ, his relentless motor, and his knack for disrupting plays even when he's not directly involved in the sack. During that game against Arizona, his 2 pass deflections were clutch moments. Clutch because deflecting passes at the line of scrimmage can be just as game-changing as a sack. It's about timing, awareness, and understanding what the offense is trying to do. Jordan's ability to read plays, diagnose screens, and use his 6'4" frame to affect passing lanes makes him an invaluable asset. That's the kind of player the Lions need to elevate their pass rush from good to elite. Now, I know some skeptics might raise concerns about his age. After all, he turned 36 this summer, and in today's NFL, that's often considered the twilight of a player's career. But here's the thing, Jordan has continuously defied the odds. His conditioning, durability, and professionalism are second to none. Over the years, he's adapted his game, relying more on technique, leverage, and football intelligence rather than just raw athleticism. In the recent season opener, he played with energy, discipline, and strength, producing in a big way. Missed games, barely any. Minor off-season surgery, fully recovered and back in top shape. The film shows a player who still has the quickness, power, and awareness to be disruptive. For the Lions, who are aiming for that deep playoff run and hopefully a Super Bowl appearance, adding a veteran like Cameron Jordan makes perfect sense. His experience and leadership are priceless, especially for a defense that's still developing its identity. Think about it, adding Jordan would not only bring a proven pass rusher, but also a mentor for the young core, like Aiden Hutchinson himself. Hutchinson has been fantastic, but having someone like Jordan to learn from, to watch him prepare and execute, can significantly accelerate his development. Plus, Jordan's presence on the field commands attention from offensive lines, freeing up other pass rushers to get to the quarterback. Imagine a third-and-long scenario, with Hutchinson coming off one edge and Jordan off the other. Quarterbacks would have very little time to throw, and that kind of relentless pressure can turn the tide of games, especially in the playoffs. It can be the difference between a quick 3-and-out and a game-changing sack or disruption. That's the kind of impact a veteran like Jordan can bring on and off the field. Of course, some might worry about the financials and the potential cap hit. But here's the good news. Jordan restructured his contract with New Orleans this offseason to make it more cap-friendly. The Saints, in a bit of a rebuild and with a crowded defensive front, might be open to trading him if they believe this is the right moment to move on. A mid-round pick or a swap of players could be enough to get this deal done, especially if the Saints are willing to absorb some of the cap hit. It's a win-win situation. Detroit gets a proven leader and pass rusher, and New Orleans can free up some cap space and draft capital for their rebuild. From a locker room perspective, Jordan's fit with the Lions' culture is perfect. Dan Campbell preaches toughness, grit, and accountability, values Jordan has embodied throughout his career. His leadership, professionalism, and work ethic could serve as a catalyst for the entire defense. Bringing in someone with his experience and intensity could inspire the young guys, like James Houston and Josh Paschal, to elevate their game. And let's not forget, Jordan's reputation as a relentless worker and a guy who commands respect in the locker room would bolster the Lions' internal culture, making them even more formidable as the season progresses. Some might argue that acquiring a player of Jordan's age is risky, especially considering the wear and tear of a long NFL career. But the film and his recent performance tell a different story. He's adjusted his style, relying more on technique and football smarts, which means he can still be effective even as he enters the later stages of his career. His conditioning is top-notch. He's missed very few games and has always been a high snap count player. His recent off-season surgery was minor, and his Week 1 showing confirms he's healthy and ready to contribute at a high level. Financially, this could be a smart move for Detroit. Jordan's contract restructuring makes him more cap-friendly, and if the Saints are motivated to move him, the Lions could potentially acquire him without sacrificing too much of their future. A mid-round pick, maybe a conditional, or even a player swap could seal the deal, especially if the Saints are feeling the pressure to rebuild and want to get some value for a veteran who still has plenty left in the tank. And beyond the game, Jordan's presence in Detroit would be a significant boost for the team's locker room culture. Dan Campbell has already established a team that plays with heart and physicality, but adding someone like Jordan, with his leadership and professionalism, would take things to the next level. His work ethic and relentless attitude would serve as an example for the entire team. This isn't just about the stats on the stat sheet. It's about creating an environment where every player pushes themselves to be better, where accountability is the norm, and where the Lions can truly believe they have the talent and leadership to contend for the Super Bowl. So, in summary, this potential move isn't just a splashy headline. It's a strategic decision that could elevate the Lions' defense to a whole new level. Cameron Jordan, despite being in the later stages of his career, remains a disruptive force, a leader and a player who can make game-changing plays. For Detroit, adding a veteran of his caliber isn't just about immediate impact, it's about setting the tone for a championship run, inspiring the young guys, and building a defense that strikes fear into opposing quarterbacks. And now, Detroit Lions fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Detroit Lions. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Detroit Lions news.